Hello friends, bigstupidgrin here. We are streaming Stranger Things. I know it's kind of late at night, but this is when I get to stream. So I am going to be going over the video, over the story and everything, like I did with my intro video, which it has actually been a while since I got to, that point, and actually get around to play the scenario, so I apologize for that. We are playing as Lucas, Dustin, and Mike, as well as Jim Hopper. This is the first time I have played two-handed before, two-handed solo. I just started playing solo, true solo, one-handed solo, and it's been a while. I usually play with my wife, just two-handed normal, so getting used to this will be interesting. I have no idea how long this is going to take, but hopefully it'll be interesting. Hopefully, I know a lot of people like Stranger Things, so I thought this would be interesting to go to check out. If you want to know if you want to get at the scenario, if you don't know, all of these, on top of it being just included in the Arkham mod that I'm using, you can go on Arkham Central. I don't know if it's strictly ArkhamCentral.com or not, but it is. It'll let you print out the cards if you want to, and they did a really good job on the cards, in my opinion. So I won't go into the other characters. There's a character from the show for every single class. I went over that in the video, but if you would like to know about the other classes, of course, let me know. There's one for every different kind of investigator. No neutrals, of course. Well, not of course, but anyway, we get to start at the Rivers residence. This is all about the disappearance of Will Byers. So basically it starts in the first episode of season 1, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and read the story, get everybody, well, people are probably familiar with the story. I'm way late on the Stranger Things bandwagon, but anyway. So, welcome to Hawkins. Look, I wouldn't have called you in here if it wasn't important, the sheriff says, pausing to take a sip from a steaming mug of coffee. Normally, my mornings are reserved for some well-earned contemplation, but there have been some strange things, happening in the town. He gestured out the window towards a town painful in its normalcy. The Byers boy has fallen off the face of the planet. We've had our first murder in God knows how long, and I get this feeling that clears his throat suddenly, as if cutting off what he was about to say. Well, the long and short of it is I wouldn't mind having someone else taking a look at things. Someone who isn't connected to this town. Well, too bad we're playing the people in the town. If experience has taught you anything, it's that only a fool trusts the calm exterior of a quaint town. You must find young Will Byers and get to the bottom of what is turning this town upside down. Also, kind of a pun, because we have the upside down. So we have a couple of traits here, unique to the scenario. Invincible. So the monster in this scenario has the invincible keyword. When an enemy with the invincible keyword is defeated, it is removed from play. But various effects in the scenario can bring the enemy back, including random bad tokens in the chaos bag, as I've seen. However, if an enemy with the invincible keyword is in the victory display, then it can no longer enter play. Then we have the upside down. While investigators have entered the upside down, they are not considered to be at the same location as other enemies and investigators at the same location. That means that they cannot engage, evade, attack, or be attacked, or otherwise interact with enemies. The monster is the only exception to this rule. This also means that they cannot commit cards to skill tests performed by other investigators or otherwise interact with other investigators, unless that other investigator has also entered the Upside Down. I won't flip this over because it has the read after scenario. Let's go and take a look at the agenda and Act X really fast. Agenda 1A, The Vanishing of Will Byers. A young boy named Will Byers has gone missing in the small town of Hawkins. The townspeople and police have combed the area for clues, but found nothing so far. Perhaps you may have more luck. When this agenda advances, shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until 2 agent enemies are discarded. Spawn these enemies at the Hawkins National Laboratory. Act 1A, The Search for Will. Will has not been seen since leaving the Wheeler residence. These kinds of disappearances are not normal for a town like Hawkins, and finding Will might help uncover what is really going on beneath the placid surface of these quiet neighborhoods. I'm going to show you, let's go ahead and take a look at the scenario card while we're here. Skull, -1 for each agent enemy in play. Cultist, -2 if you fail, the enemy at your location with the greatest fight attacks you. The Rock is -2 if you fail, spawn the monster at your location engaged with you. And the Elder Thing is -3 if you fail, place a horror on 11 if you control her. We only have standard and hard difficulties. I'll show you the Chaos Bag soon enough, but I wanted to show off kind of the decks and who we're running today. Let's see. Okay, we're over here. So Lucas, Dustin, and Mike have the same deck building requirements as Mintai Fan. That is to say, Seeker 0 through 5, Survivor 0 through 2. We are running this on standalone mode, which means we can spend some experience without requiring another basic weakness. I've found that doing this kind of makes True Solo a little bit better. I know I'm not playing True Solo this time, but it allows for some interesting decks. I don't want to say more interesting decks, but anyway, we're going to give them the Ornate Bow and 1 upgraded Peter Silvestri. Next, we're playing Jim Hopper. He has the same deck building requirements as Leo Anderson. We're using that to upgrade 1, or using his experience that we're giving him to upgrade the Thompson to 1 version of the Guardian, level 3, and 2 copies of First Aid, level 3. Then let's take a look at our investigators and the weaknesses we drew. Unfortunately, we drew a copy of Overzealous. That's probably one of the worst cards you can get. I don't know, maybe it's okay in Diana? Because you want to cancel stuff? I don't know, I haven't played Diana Stanley. Their special asset is Bicycles. You get +1 agility, and after you evade an enemy, you can move to a connecting location. So kind of a play on Track Shoes. I assume this came out before Track Shoes came out. Their weakness is Troy and James, the bullies. They have Retaliate, Hunter, line of 2, 3, and 3. Their prey is Only the Boys. You must test 3 willpower as an additional cost to fight Troy and James. If you fail, the fight test automatically fails. And then their stats is 4, 4, 1, and 3, which is pretty cool. 5 health, which is less cool, but they have 9 horror. I think I ran painkillers with these guys, or I'm just using First Aid. But their reaction, after you perform the same action 2 times in a row during your turn, you may immediately take another action of the same type for free. Elder Sign is +2, draw X cards. X is the number of investigate actions you have taken this round. Really, I think this is kind of an awesome investigator card. I don't know how balanced it is. I don't think it's overpowered, but I do think they would be a top tier investigator because they have that built-in action advantage, and they're good at willpower and intellect. Low fight is bad, but you can be low fight as a seeker and be okay, I think. Let's go over to Jim Hopper. He's the chief. He has each non-elite enemy engaged with you gains action parlay test fight 3. If you succeed, evade this enemy and deals damage to it. Sort of a Rita effect, I guess. The Elder Science +1 if successful. Excuse me. Discover a clue at your location for each exhausted enemy at your location. He has a line of 3, 3, 4, and 2. Like I said, he can run Rogue. He's Leo Anderson. He can rogue Guardian and Rogue off-class. We drew Internal Injury with him, which isn't too bad. He has a decent line of 8 and 6. His signature card, Copy Contemplation. It's an event. It has 1 million skill icons. Play only during your turn if there are no engaged enemies at your location. Heal 2 horror, then gain a clue from the token pool if there is an exhausted enemy at your location. Pretty nice. Not like the most impactful thing, but it's not like Guardians need a signature weapon these days. They have plenty of good weapons. His treachery is self-medicated. Put it into play with 3 supplies on it. At the end of your turn, take a direct horror if you've not used a supply from self-medicated. When your turn begins, reaction, spend a supply. You get -1 skill value during skill tests until the end of the round. Then if it has no supplies on it, discard it. So most of the time you're going to be spending supplies and self-medicating yourself. Alright, so if I am correct, I'm just going to make sure we start at the buyer's residence, which is right here. The house looks normal enough. It sits up against a heavily wooded area, and there is a small shed in the back. As far as anyone knows, Will never made it home the night he went missing. There may be some sign of what happened here. And then it has 2 clues per investigator. Oh, I have disappearing assets here. Okay. Action. Reveal a random token from the Chaos bag. If you reveal a bad token, spawn the monster engaged with you. Otherwise, gain a clue from the token pool. Limit once per turn. There's little indication of anything amiss, except for Will's empty room. However, the lights flicker as you enter, and there's a strange charge to the air. I should show off the map a little bit. We have Castle Byers, the National Laboratory. Can't get in there yet. The Hawkins Middle School. We're at the Byers residence. We have the Wheeler residence. Agent enemies cannot move in unless it is Agenda 3. Downtown. The library. The quarry. And the junkyard. So that's our map. Oh, we also have, the castle. We do need to do a little bit of setup though. We have 9 upside down encounter cards, and we're going to shuffle them up and place them underneath. So that shouldn't take too long. Hope you guys are having a good day. I am going to in-laws tomorrow for a few days, which is fun, but that means no recording for me. So I might record again tonight, I'm not sure. I'm still working on the Zoe video, so I do apologize for that. Building a quote-unquote beginner's Zoe deck. So do apologize for that if you were waiting on that. Let's go ahead and draw opening hands. So this is going to be a little bit awkward on Tabletop Simulator, but hopefully it'll be okay. Anyway, here's the Chaos bag. It is a very busy Chaos bag. We have 19 tokens. That is pretty big. We have a decent amount of bad tokens too. These of course are variable, but the other ones are pretty crazy too. I wonder if a lot of custom scenarios have big chaos bags. Not sure. Anyway, so we have Mr. Rook, Shortcut, Hawkeye Camera, Lucky, and Inquiring Mind. It's a pretty good opening hand. We have something that, if not helping us investigate in the short term, it'll be okay. Depending on the... we got 2 Shroud here, so we don't need immediate help. Mr. Rook, of course, is borderline overpowered, in my opinion. I don't think he's as bad as pre-Taboo Dr. Milan, but he's really, really good. So what do we don't have? We don't have bicycles, we don't have help invading, but again, we're playing with the Chief, so I think this hand is okay. I don't know, I'm feeling like I'm getting more and more conservative with my opening hand mulligans, which is probably a bad thing. Anyway, let's draw a hand for Jim. Looking for a weapon. We got Enchanted Blade. We have his signature card. It's more good for it's better for later. Scene of the crime. We could help doing a little bit of investigating. I did opt to throw in Find Clothes because he has a parlay ability, so I thought that was pretty obvious. Tennessee Sour Mash is okay. We have a weapon. We don't have an ally. It's the only thing we're missing, but I think this is okay. We have something to protect the kids with. Eventually we'll have something to deal with willpower checks. He's a 3, so he's not bad, but he's not good either. To be honest, I kind of wanted to test out Tennessee Sour Mash. I'm not sure if it's very good, but that's why I'm checking it out. Alright, so we'll throw back his signature card. I think that's okay. And Lone Wolf, just in case we happen to be alone. Alright, I'm going to throw these over here. And I think I'm going to start with Lucas, Dustin, and Mike. Making sure Mice 2 is the monster, so we'll be okay. These over, put them back in our opening hand. Alright, let's get started. I'm going to play Hawkeye. As my first action, I'm going to throw neutral on here for their reaction action. I could play Dr. Rook, or not Dr. Rook, I could play Mr. Rook. That might be okay, but I think I want our helper here to have a weapon out before I go searching for cards. Part of me just wants to get a bunch of blues right now. But first turn should be a setup turn. So we're going to play Mr. Rook. The mod doesn't spawn him with secrets yet, which isn't terrible, but hopefully that gets built in. Then, can I state this to 3? No, it's not 3. We can do that. I think I'm going to be conservative with Rook at the moment. Then last turn we will investigate for +2. Oh, I need to throw these back in. Here we go. -1, so we get a clue. Awesome. Put these cards away again. They'll flip around for some reason. It'll be Jim's turn. Okay, we could play Scene of the Crime and grab a clue. That wouldn't be terrible because there's still 2 clues on there, or I think 3 clues in there. So it's not like I'm going to steal from the Hawkeye folding camera. But I don't have enough resources to do that and get the rest of my setup out. So instead I'm going to play the Blade. I'm going to play Fine Clothes. And I'm going to get out Lone Wolf just in case. I'm not planning on leaving the boys alone for now, but you never know. So that's our turn. We don't have any enemies. We will go ahead and draw a card, take a resource. All right, leather coat. And then, oh, that is less good. We've gotten it out of the way at least. So that comes with 3 supplies. Then we will just have to remember to use it. Alright, let's go ahead and Doom. There we go. We have Flickering Lights. The monster is in play. Move it 1 location towards you. If the monster is not in play, guess what we do? We spawn the monster. Fantastic. Let's go grab the monster. So the monster. Let's take a look at him. 4/3/4. He's a monster. He's elite. Hunter Invincible. He does 3 damage and 3 horror. If the monster is exhausted and then there are no investigators at its location, remove it from play. At the start of the enemy phase, deal 1 damage to each enemy at the same location as the monster. It has 2 victory points, but it's going to be hard to put him in the victory display, it looks like. And then we have Bugged. If there are no agent enemies in play, discard cards from the encounter deck until an agent enemy is discarded. Spawn the discarded enemy at your location. Engage with you. So, wow, we got 2 enemies engaged with us already. There are 1 or more agent enemies in play. Each one of them moves 1 location towards 11 if possible. So we need an agent. And that is 1. So, Government Assassin. After it engages you, which is now, test agility 3 if you fail to take damage. So we are tied for that. Actually, your turn. Yeah, I think that's fine. Our turn hasn't begun. So we are even. Not that that helps. And we do the autofill anyway. So we make sure I play this card correctly. Yep, we're good. Well, we already got 2 enemies on me, so great start, team. Alright. So, there we go. Put our cards back in our hand here. I'm probably going to have to evade, and I'm going to evade with Inquiry Mind, so we're +3 on this evasion attempt. Good thing we're +3 then. Okay, so it's exhausted. Now, if we can get out of the buyer's residence, we can remove this from play. So I'm going to investigate because there's nothing that's going to hurt me if I investigate. +2. Actually, the enemy at your location with the greatest fight attacks you. I don't know if that would, I'm not sure if that would work on exhausted enemies. It would probably say unexhausted if it was. So I'm going to move here to the Wheeler residence. We have 0 clues, but they cannot move into the Wheeler residence unless it is Agenda 3. Spend 2 resources, heal 1 damage or 1 horror from an ally. Now it's as quiet and peaceful, it is almost as if you could shut out the world and its problems, even if just for a moment. Okay. And I'm going to keep moving though because there's no clues on here. So we can go to the library or the junkyard. I think I'm going to go to the library. Do I want to spend my shortcut to do that? We shortcut, we can at the very least investigate there. Sure, why not? Okay, 1 clue per investigator. And just to be sure, we need 3 clues per investigator, so we need 6. When an enemy would engage you, test agility 3. If successful, that enemy cannot engage you until the rest of into the round, and we can resign. I'll just hide here until this all blows over. That old bus seems like a likely place to hide. And then we will do some investigation. We're +2. +1. So at least we're getting clues. Okay. Then that's our turn. I'll throw this over here. Throw these in here. Okay. So agent enemies cannot move into the Wheeler residence. So I think I can drag him to the Wheeler. If we drug him to the Wheeler residence, he'd be fine. So I think that's what I'm going to do, but the first thing I'm going to do is wish we had 2 resources to play on. Scene of the crime, but I'm going to do this though, because don't want to take damage. I do take Lone Wolf Cache, which is cool, which means we can play Scene of the Crime. Awesome. We get 2 clues. There's still a clue left on there if we ever want to take it for a Hawkeye camera. And then I'm going to, it's going to hurt, but we don't have enough damage to kill this thing immediately. I could parlay it. Test fight 3, which is now fight 1 because of fine clothes. Let's try that. You're +2. Sweet. So we have to do this. And it gets to take a damage. We throw a damage in here so I can copy paste when necessary. That is the wrong one. There we go. And then we'll just move. Oh, we had -1 to our skill value, but we still win that. So we're gonna go here. Yeah, to the Wheeler residence. Now there are no more enemies. No investigators. So we have to do that first, which is unfortunate. If we could time this later, we could deal damage to this government assassin, but that's okay. So we seen the crime, we evaded, and then we moved, and that's our turn. So enemy phase, well, not enemy phase, but upkeep phase. Start drawing cards and getting resources. Magnifying glass. And evidence. Cool. Let's add a doom and draw some more enemies. Getting used to my camera setup. My apologies. Government agent. Alright. We're drawing a ton of enemies. This is just the nature of the scenario, apparently. Into the dark test. Oh boy. Agility 4. If you fail, you lose control of a non-story ally you control. I don't have that. If you don't control any non-story allies, place a doom on the current agenda. Fine. At the witching hour anyway. The rock is not something you want to fail, if I remember. Whoops. Come on. There. We spawn the monster in your location. Engage with you. Isn't that quaint? We also get to place a doom. Doesn't roll over. So first 3 turns we've spawned the monster twice already. And non-elite enemy. Bet this is elite. This is elite. At least we have a weapon, I guess. Anyway, it is their turn. They are going to do some evasion here. Oops. Alright, we're plus +2. And skull means we still win. Alright, I need to do some investigating. Let's get out the magnifying glass. It's fast. Again, we're +3 now. I hesitate on using Rook because if we draw overzealous, we're going to draw a bunch of more agents, it seems like. I haven't looked at the encounter deck too much. I'm going to use him, and I'm going to use him for 3 like a coward. Okay. It's not bad. Let's take deduction only because we have a lack of resources at the moment. Otherwise, working a hunch would be better, of course. He is exhausted. Anyway, let's do some investigating. There are... how many clues we got? Oh, just 1. Okay, so deduction would be a bad plan. We're still +3. Sweet. So we get a resource on Hawkeye. That means we have 5 willpower now. Too bad we can't use that proactively, but no worries. Let's move to the library. Library is an old-looking building at the center of town. There may be public records to help in unraveling the mystery of the laboratory. I don't know why I call it laboratory. Laboratory, laboratory, whatever. And the strange goings on in town. It has 2 clues per investigator. For an action, we can test intellect 4. If successful, you have discovered a lead about Dr. Brenner. Treat this text box as blank until the end of the round, once per game. We can also, we can also test intellect 4. If successful, remember that you have researched alternate realities. Limit once per game. Maybe we'll do that some other time. So we're going to investigate again. We're +4 at this point. Might be a decent idea to use deduction just to speed things up a bit. Actually, we only need 1 more clue, so maybe not. Okay, so we can spend our clues and move on. No idea if that's a good plan or not, but I kind of want to do it. Alright, let's advance the act. As you are searching through the town, you come across a small figure looking desperate and scared as it stands in the pouring rain. For a moment you are overjoyed, thinking that it must be Will, but as you come closer, you see that it's someone else. A young girl with a shaved head stands there in dirty hospital clothes, watching with wary eyes. She does not answer at first as you ask for her name and her story. Finally, she musters one word, 11. Although she does not offer much more, it is clear from her demeanor and the few words that she speaks that she is on the run, and those she is running from have done her great harm. Although you still don't know the whole story, anyone who can inspire such fear in a child is capable of anything. Put the set-aside 11 into play at the lead investigator's location. There's 11. We'll look at her in a second. 11. Ally with the weirdo trait. You can exhaust 11, deal horror to her, deal damage to each enemy at your location. Action, parlay test intellect 3 if successful, take control of 11. Forced, when 11 is defeated, resolution 4. She has 1 health and 5 horror, so definitely supposed to use that. That is our turn. It is now the turn for someone who is not having as good of a time. Direct horror if we don't want to use that. So we only need to hit this dude twice if we're lucky. We can't evade him. Yeah, I need to throw this over here so we see it. We're +2 fighting with the Enchanted Blade. Took a resource from Lone Wolf. Yeah, we need to eliminate this. You are not a hunter, so not worried about you. Okay. Let's fight. And I think I am going to opt to take a direct horror. We're healthy right now, so I don't want to lose the skill value during skill tests when we're going against the monster, because he does considerably more damage than self-medicated would. So we're 4, 5, 6 against 4. Sweet. Okay, we can be +1, or we can be +2 and use another charge. Problem with we don't need to do 2 damage. We only need to do 1. That's the nice part about the monster. The only nice part, only 3 hit points. +1 is 5. I think we have 2 agents in play, fortunately. So +1 is 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 19. That's no good. Let's be +2. And good thing we did. So monster's gone again. Hopefully we don't just draw an encounter card that brings him into play again. And then we're going to move down here, I think. And that's our turn. And we need to take a direct horror, because we did not self-medicate this round. Alright. Draw a card, take resource. We got working hunch anyway. Card and resource, first aid, level 3. Pretty good. considering Jim's been taking some damage lately. And we are overdue to flip this over. Oh, lovely. Always fun when they turn into an enemy. Excuse me. Dr. Brenner. 3 fight, 4 health, 5 evasion, agility. Agent Elite. Spawn at the laboratory. Hunter. Other ancient enemies at the same location as Dr. Brenner. Gain the Hunter keyword. +1 fight, +1 health. Alright, he goes here. Bad Men. Agenda 2A. You don't know whether you are seeing things, but there seem to be strange men in suits throughout the town. They seem to be looking for something or someone. When the Hunter keyword on an enemy would resolve, reveal a random token from the Chaos Bag. When you reveal an Elder Sign symbol, a positive number is 0, the enemy does not move. Enemies at the same location determine this as a group. Forced at the end of the round, place 1 Doom on this agenda for each agent enemy at the same location as 11. It's 9 threshold, which is nice. In our act, the Flea and the Acrobat. With 11's help, you continue the search for Will. She seems to know something about where he is, and you are more sure than ever that this isn't a normal disappearance. The trail seems to ultimately lead back to that secretive laboratory at the edge of town. You must find out what is going on there at any cost, but it won't be easy. Investigators spend 4 clues per investigator as a group. Reveal the Hawkins National Laboratory. And if we have gained access to the Upside Down, advance. Assume that's at the laboratory, but I don't know. Let's draw some bad cards. Another agent. Friends don't lie. Put it into play in your threat area. The text box of allies you control are considered to be blank. At the end of your turn, test willpower 3. If you succeed, discard Friends don't lie. Otherwise, if you control 11, lose control of her and place her at your current location. Well, he won't be controlling 11 then. So we need to evade. Excuse me. We need to evade this agent and grab 11. Otherwise, she's going to take some damage. Actually, they're all in the same location, so maybe we move Jim first. So he shall take that agent. And let's just fight this guy. I don't know if using a charge would be super good, but skulls are, skulls are already -3. Jeez. Oh, do I want to use this? Considering, I have first aid, so I can eventually deal with this. Do I want to take the agent? Would I rather just evade the agent? No, that would be stupid. Because I can just evade the agent as Jim here. So, same, going back to the first plan, which is having Jim move first. We can evade and do damage to it. Evading would be 1 against 4, 1 against 3 if we want to. Yeah, let's let self-medicate go off. So we're -1 for our skills this turn. Lovely. We can try to fight this guy and then try to evade. We could... Let's see, how bad is that for 11? End of the round, okay. Let's try to fight without empowering the blade, because I need to keep ammo around. Actually, we can evade first and then fight if we want to. So let's evade first, using this. So it's check fight 3, but it's check fight 1. We are 4 fight, so we're +3, but we're +2 because of self-medicated. Alright, that's fine. You need to do this. And yeah, I think we're fine here. Takes a damage. We're going to try to hit him with the blade anyway. It's our last action. So we're 4, 5, but 4 against 2, so we're +2 again. Alright, fair enough. Killed something. Alright, that's his turn. We can play evidence to grab a clue, so that's good. Alright, now it is Lucas, Dustin, and Mike's turn. They're going to try to grab 11 here. I guess I could try to grab 11 eventually with Jim, but he has this card, and I need to test willpower 3. No go. Okay. As long as I didn't get a freaking rock again, we're okay. Anyway. Do we want to rook? We want a rook. I don't know. Overzealous in this encounter deck has really neutered my desire to use rook. I'll use him for 3. Yeah, let's use him for 3. There's something really I want to draw though, so let's just keep him. Let's try to grab 11. So we're plus. Okay, we're not +2. We could investigate. If we successfully investigated and got a point on Hawkeye, we could parlay a little bit better. So let's investigate first with deduction. So we're 4, 5, 6 against 1. Okay, so we got both clues there. And a resource on Hawkeye. So now we have +1 investigating. We'll try to parlay for 11. So we're 5 against 3. Fortunately, we passed that, so we don't have to spawn the monster for a 3rd time. So we have 11. She doesn't count as an ally slot, which is nice. And then, what do we want to do next? So we need clues and we need to get to the laboratory. I feel like playing leather coat. So I feel like doing none of those things and grabbing the coat instead. So a successful turn after a bunch of not so successful turns. Peter is our draw. We don't have any. Oh, we do have a hunter here. So I think we need to take a chaos bag test here. Yeah. Ooh, positive number. Awesome, so he doesn't move. Alright, upkeep goes the same. Friends don't lie. We checked it, I think. Draw emergency aid. Alright, what's that do? spawn the monster. Actually, I don't know yet. Put Scent of Blood into play in your threat area. Limit one per investigator. At the end of a phase in which you take damage, spawn the monster at your location. If the monster is already in play, take a damage and a horror instead, then discard Scent of Blood. I feel like this, I don't know, a lot of monster. Too much monster. Alright. Let's spawn the monster. So this is number 4 here. I guess this is how the scenario is balanced, is you getting the monster a bunch of times. So I guess we should fight the monster then. I'm gonna have to take another direct horror because I don't want to lose skills. How many agents? We have 3 at the moment, so yeah, skills -3. We'll use the blade. 4, 5, 6 against 4. That was a miss we couldn't really afford to have, unfortunately. There's no way I'm going to evade him, so we'll just try to hit him a couple of times. +1. +1. Anyway, on to a much cheerier turn. Jim, you're probably going to die very quickly if this scenario has anything to deal with it. Let's go downtown. It's not much of a downtown. There are the usual suspects: a hardware store, general store, movie theater. Perhaps supplies can be found here. Might prove useful. Kinda reminds me of our downtown, where I live. 2 clues per investigator. Spend a resource to place an ammo token on a firearm asset you control. Once per game, spend 3 resources. Take control of the set-aside Christmas lights asset. What is the Christmas lights asset? Alright, 0 cost asset if you are the only investigator. If you are the only investigator, okay, and have entered the Upside Down, trigger the action on buyer's residence as if you're at that location. Reaction or fast action, attach your location. The attached location gains action test. Intellect 3. If successful, you may trade clues with investigators at the same location. I've entered the Upside Down, so that is something we can grab at downtown. Let's get some clues. So I'm +4, I think, at least. So you get a clue. Do it again. Skull is -3, I think, but we're still a 4, a 5, a 6. So we're fine. That's our turn. Enemy phase. Yeah, Jim Hopper gets his. My goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to take him with these guys and then evade. I think that's the only way I can get Hopper here to live. And actually, we should be at 5-4 because I've taken 2 direct horror so far this game because of his ability. I want to keep fine close because it's too good for him. So, oh well. Let's draw cards to take resources. Troy James. Lovely. Glad this wasn't a league game. I would have been really cross if that happened. If this is the luck I got on a league game match, but oh well. This game is not meant to be easy, even on normal, and with 2 people, and with experience. So let's give ourselves some doom. I was thinking of maybe taking a short, like a 2-second break, but if we die really fast, it doesn't matter. Let's grab a government assassin. Let's grab another agent. No? Test intellect 3. That kills him. Jim's dead already. If you fail the enemy at your location with the highest fight attacks you. Yep. Yeah, is he dead? Now, fine clothes takes a damage and a horror out, so that's... Yeah, he's still dead. He's still DED. Alright, fair enough. So we don't have to worry about him anymore. Alright. Let's, So now we're playing one-handed. We were always playing one-handed. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So we're going to evade this guy. Probably. Could do damage to him, but I have no way of fighting him, so no way of fighting this person too. I have to test test this and +1. No, I'm even. I do have lucky, so I will lucky this because I don't want this go off. Anyway. And I think skulls are -4 now. Not that that really matters. We could use 11. Deal some damage to everybody. Doesn't seem to be a terrible idea. Not that that's going to kill anybody, but maybe over time. So I'm going to try to evade both of them. Sure. Let's evade Troy and James, I guess. Gosh, we're only even. I could play Peter Sylvester would be +1, but I would take 3 damage and 1 horror. It's almost worth it. I can't test it even. I'm gonna lose if I test it even. All of these tests. So let's play Peter. We gotta take 2 damage, which the code can take. Take damage and a horror. Alright. So we're gonna have to evade this turn, and then next turn evade a few more times, I guess. So we're +1 against the bullies. Nope. Should be evading them, but again, it's that even. Still though. Even, I guess. Sweet. Just +2. Can't do anything fun with that. I'll just put him right there because she's going to go right back on top of me. We do get a free Lucas action for this. +1. Alright, they're evaded. Again, we can't move anywhere, so then we took damage. Oh, it's already played, so we take a damage and a horror. That's not too bad, although, again, we're almost dead into a phase, so I don't think Peter gets the heal his horror this time. So they go back on top of me. Oh, no, you're gone, aren't you? No, you're not exhausted. Hunter, though. Is that it? 3 damage. So 1 damage, 1 horror. So I take 2 and 2. Never mind. Now he's on top of me. The end of the phase once you take damage from the monster. We get damage and a horror instead. No, I think I already did that. I don't know. We're obviously very, very dead here. So let's read the resolution. Press F to pay respects. You wake on the outskirts of Hawkins. Entering the town again, you find that strangely weeks have passed. Will Byers was never found, and several more people have gone missing. There are no leads, no trace of what happened. The people of the town seem to ignore you and quickly leave when you try to talk to them. It appears that you have failed and it is time to move on. In your campaign log, record that 11 was taken, the monster survived, and the town is still in danger. Will Byers didn't make it. And we get, well, 0 experience, but anyway, that's Stranger Things. I am pretty confident that we just had terrible luck that scenario. Without looking at the encounter deck, we spawned the monster at least 4 times. And when we weren't spawning monsters, we were spawning agents. So I don't think there's much we could have done with that. But that's Arkham for you, right? So anyway, I'm Big Stupid Grin. I hope to stream more. I know this is way late, but my schedule has been crazy. I haven't been able to do much recording or streaming, so someday it'll get better and I can do this more often. So anyway, hope you enjoyed your time here.